Okay, as the CO said, I'm next up here on the op order because I'm in charge of the rating element that's going to be going in. Just a reminder to everyone, we are conducting a reconnaissance raid. These are typically done to obtain information. That is the main focus of the raid, is getting intel. Any damage we do to enemy equipment, any personnel that we end up killing, that's just a bonus. That's just a plus. That's not the primary focus of this raid. Now, typically when we've conducted a reconnaissance raids in the past, for those of you that are newer, we use an element that's a max of 1 platoon in size. That includes our security elements, our reserve force, and our assault force, actual raiding element. Now, there are a few features of a reconnaissance raid. It is always a covert approach by the element that is raiding, and we come in on a pre-planned route that we've reconned, we've checked out, and we're hitting a target that we've gotten as much information on as we can. We've learned how long their guard shift rotations are. Where is each position? What weapons at each position? Where is the sergeant of the guard at? Where is the headquarters at? Where's all the particular elements inside the target area? What's there? Where is all the important people, the important equipment, that type of thing. Now, this is a surprise attack. Element of surprise is key because we are trying to capture prisoners, we're trying to capture documents, we're trying to capture important equipment. And once we accomplish our objectives, it is a quick withdrawal out of the raid area back to friendly positions, back to friendly lines, back to the rest of the unit. Now, when we've done these in the past, we've gone after such targets such as isolated firing positions or fighting positions on a defensive line on a perimeter. We've captured LPOPs, listening post observation posts. We've captured forward observers and forward air controllers who have infiltrated into our area. We found out where they were at and we captured them right from underneath the noses of their security. We've captured isolated guards, roving guards. We've captured people at traffic control points. We've captured couriers who were transporting information, written or printed out op orders and intel with maps, or they were carrying flash drives on the way to a unit, either higher headquarters or the unit that's going to conduct a mission. We've captured entire small work parties that were sent out to repair things that we destroyed, like the enemy's communication lines, their phone lines. We've also captured officers and staff that were on the way to meetings when we were told intel as to when they were going to be on that road and where. And we've gone after their nodes of communications. We've captured relay stations. We've taken the people from that. We've gotten intel from the radios, everything we possibly could. Now, I'm going to orient you to the battle space here. This is north, this is south. This over here, this is County Road 69. To the south here, past Little Fish Creek, about 3 miles down from this area, that's where the highway is. Now, we got a ridge line. That's our northern boundary here. This is the start of the foothills for Hard Luck Mountain. That's not the actual name, that's just what this unit has called it for those of you who haven't been there, who are new to the unit. So we got the foothill here, the start of the ridge for Hard Luck Mountain. It is heavily forested. There's a lot of trees up in here. A lot of conifers, a lot of evergreens, and we're going to use those to our advantage because it's fall now. Over here on the east side of County 69, we got the shallow ditch, which is on both sides of the road. We have tree line over here, and then 500 meters back, approximately from the start of this tree line, is the next section of ridges and hills and that stuff for the mountain. Now, off of Little Fish Creek here, the south side of it, there's a lot of tall grass, a lot of brush. On the north side, it's kind of sparse. Now, we've identified here in this kind of open field area, it was not a plowed field, there was not crops here. Whoever owned the land just kind of left it overgrown with grass all the time. I don't know if he would hunt in there before the war or what it was. But there is a small access road that he had, unimproved, coming off the hardball from 69 over here. We've identified what appears to be an A-lock. This is a battalion logistics center. We do not know what battalion is occupying this A-lock. These guys were at least smart enough to paint over the unit markings on their trucks. They still have the individual vehicle bumper numbers, but we don't know what unit they belong to. We don't know what division, we don't know what battalion. Now, to the north of the A-lock here, about 50 miles, is the front lines. Remember, the Continental Army is approaching. That group of ragtag units, leftovers from the National Guard, the Reserve, active duty, veterans who signed back up, and people who got pissed off and decided to fight back, joined up, they're advancing south towards us. And we're trying to help them out. We've linked up with a couple of their LRP teams, or long-range reconnaissance patrol teams, and we're going to get them as much intel as we can on this area so they can pass it up to their higher for those advancing units. And one of the things we're going to try helping them out, we're going to find out who the hell is occupying this A-lock and where their units are that they're supporting. We cannot tell by the equipment that's in here what unit it is. It's all generic equipment. We got Hemet fuelers, we've seen LMTVs, FMTVs, we've seen Humvees, and the one MRAP. Nothing that specifically says it's for an infantry battalion, it's field artillery, it's engineer. We don't know. We're going to find that out. Now, how this mission is going to be conducted. We're going to be coming in from the east up into the tree line over here. Once we're in position here, the reserve force is going to set up on the edge of the tree line. That's when we're going to split off. We're going to have one fire team that's going to be coming up on the backside here, setting up in here in the rocks as support by fire. They're going to be covering our withdrawal. We're going to have another fire team from the same squad is going to be coming in, crossing the creek. They're going to come in on the south side. They're going to come down through here, set up on the edge of the creek. Their position is going to be just to the east of these large trees here. They'll be very easy for them to identify. Got that? All right. So you're going to set up over here. You guys are going to provide us with direct fire on the position when we withdraw. You're going to fire off 2 magazines, your saw gunner, 1 drum. Now, my squad, since we're the ones entrusted with the actual raid, this is what we're going to be doing. First off, we're going to be leaving the bulk of our equipment behind with the reserve force, with the other part of the platoon that's going to be over there. We're going to be leaving our body armor behind. We're going to leave our helmets behind. We're going to strip down load-bearing equipment. We're going to be going in just our uniforms, our weapons, 2 magazines apiece, and someone asked me about this earlier before the op order. When I gave them the warno, we're going to go in with 1 hand grenade each. You're going to have 1 mag in your weapon, 2 mags in one cargo pocket, hand grenade in the other. Make sure secure those safety pins on those grenades. That grenade is to help cover our withdrawal if needed. Now we're also going to be taking in with us 2 satchel charges. 1 with each fire team. We're also going to be taking in 2 red lens flashlights, 1 to each fire team. Now when everyone starts setting out, we're going to be coming down here into Little Fish Creek. The average depth from the top of the embankment to the bottom of the creek is 4 to 5 feet. There's about 2 foot of water in the bottom of the creek. We're going to be coming up from the tree line here into the creek underneath the concrete bridge here that goes across. That bridge, we have a clearance of 3 feet from the bottom of the bridge to the bottom of the creek. There is about 1 foot of clearance from the top of the water and the bottom of the bridge. So there's going to be plenty of room. You can keep your head up out of the water. Try to keep your weapon up out of the water also. Now, our weapons. I'll mention this real quick. We're going in with our personal weapons. Our rifles. So I want M16s, I want M4s, I want ARs. Sawed-off shotguns if you got that. If we can get a hold of a couple of those silenced Sten guns that our Recon has, we'll try to get a hold of those. The largest weapon we're going to have with us is a paratrooper saw, the one that's got the cut down barrel and the folding stock. We're going to trade one of our saws with 3rd Platoon, get a hold of that, and we're going to bring that in with us. That saw is going to be located with Bravo Team. Now we're going to come down through here. When we get to the big batch of bushes that are here, they're about 6 foot tall. You know, when we're coming down here, we see them towering over the top of the grass along the embankment here. It'll be above our right hand shoulder. We know we're getting close. Get to the edge of the bushes. I will get into position here, look up over the embankment, watch for the roving guard. Now, orientation here on this A-lock. There is a security or perimeter fence around it. It is lax as hell. It is triple strand concertina, not even triple standard. What they did, they laid down 2 rolls of concertina on the ground. They then put a picket in between the 2 rolls. It's not even attached to they didn't even attach that concertina to the picket. It's just there. And then they laid a 3rd roll over the top of the picket on top of those 2 bottom rolls. Separation between the pickets is about 10 meters. That's way beyond what's allowed. Also, this concertina wire, from our teams that got close during the recons, that concertina wire is strung so damn tight. The hoops are opened up so much an elephant could climb through the hoops of that concertina wire and not touch the razors. We're going to exploit that when we're going in. The fence goes all the way around. There's only 1 entrance here on the east side. There is nothing on the west. There is only 1 fighting position, and that's here at the entrance. They have a sandbag bunker. But over here on the north, they have an MRAP which is manned. Now, first on the south side here, from east to west, there's 2 Hemet fuelers, which are camouflaged under a giant camo net. Then it's 2 troop tents. These are large temper type tents. They are orientated east-west. Next to that, on the west here, is the MKT, their mess trailer. It's where their cooks are. And we think their cooks are located in this tent. Next to the MKT, between the MKT and the perimeter fence, is kind of their little trash pit. We see them dumping like grease and kitchen scraps inside that. Every once in a while they'll throw some dirt over the top, and I guess when it's drawing too many flies. Now on the north side here, we got the bunker on the east. Then we got some type of troop tent here. Next to that is what appears to be the aid station. Parked right next to the aid station, there's usually some type of truck. It's either an LMTV or a high-top Humvee, a canvas-top Humvee. I didn't even think they existed anymore, but apparently this unit has one. Posted right there, that kind of seems to act as their ambulance. Next to that truck is the 1 MRAP, the 1 security vehicle on this whole perimeter. There is always a person up in the gun turret on that MRAP. It is equipped with a 50 cal and it is oriented north. This position is the most active. This is the only position we've seen them actually doing what they're supposed to. They seem to be extremely afraid of the north and expect an attack's going to come from that direction. They're kind of lax everywhere else on the perimeter. To the west of the MRAP is the TOC, their headquarters tent. To the west of that, between the tent and the perimeter fence, that's their supply area. We've identified ammunition crates there. There's also some large black supply totes. We do not know what's in those. They're sealed up and banded. No telling what's inside those. Food storage. I'll just mention this. We have identified a couple pallets of bulk food over here by the MKT, MREs, and other food cases. Now you got the layout. So when we come up here, as I said, for the infiltration, we're going to come up to this, the edge of these bushes here. I'm going to keep watch. Now, there is roving guards on this perimeter. From what we've noticed, there's standard zones that they cover. There's a roving guard that covers from the entrance here to just past the troop tents. There's another guard that covers from the troop tents here around the west side to the MRAP. There's another guard that covers from the MRAP along the north here to the bunker. Now, when we've timed the roving guard over here, it takes as little as 3 minutes, as long as 10 minutes, but the average seems to be 5 to 7. It just depends on which guard's on duty. Now, when we're in position here, when that roving guard gets you in front of these trucks, I'm going to have you guys line up here on the edge of the creek. Keep your head down till I tell you. Once the roving guard is past the edge of the fuelers, he's on his return trip towards the MKT. I'm going to give you the signal. Everyone will come up over the top of the embankment, staying low. I want to get it 2 to 3, if you want to think of it, breach lanes going through the wire. We will pass through as fast as possible through that wire. And then we will gather in between the trucks here. Good point. I forgot to mention that. Okay. We're leaving the equipment behind so that we do not get caught on the wire. As part of the prep for going up to here, we're going to be securing our uniforms. Anything that's baggy, it's hanging off that could catch on that concertina wire, you need to tape it as tight against your body as possible, tie rope on it, strap on it, whatever, to get it almost form-fitting. Uniform tops, tuck them into your pants. I don't want them loose. No covers. I don't want a helmet. I don't want any hats. If you got a do-rag, you want to use that, fine, go ahead. Put that over your head. Any exposed skin, period, must be subdued. Camel paint or soot. So go over to the cook fires, get some soot, blacken out your hands, front and back, your necks, your ears, your face, everything must be blackened out, covered up, subdued, so we do not get a glint from moonlight off of our skin, giving us away. Now, when we get through the wire, stay as low as possible. As I said, we'll gather in here. Bravo team, your mission's going to be up in here. Alpha, we're going to be going after the bunker. I'm going to start here first with Bravo. One person will post himself as a sentry here by the corner of the fueler that is closest to the tent. He is going to be keeping watch on that roving guard. 2 people will be a snatch team from here. You're going to capture that roving guard when he gets to past that corner of the fueler. Grab him, get him down, disarm him, bind his hands, gag him. Keep him from making noise, keep him from moving around. Secure him until we do the exfil. I don't care if someone has to sit on his ass and hold him down to the ground till we leave. Get him down, keep him quiet. We don't want him to give us away. The other person that's on that fire team, you're going to be going through these trucks. I want you to capture a radio. From what we've seen when these fuelers come in, they do not zero out their radios. So get in there, find a truck where the radio is still on, secure it. Now, I want you to bring one BA 5590 battery for that radio, and I want you to get a hold of a short whip antenna. Now, when you're inside there, cut that lock off of the radio. And if you got to bring a small lock cutters with you, bolt cutters, go ahead. I know we got a couple small sets. Find one. Cut the lock off. Put that radio in standby mode, get it out of the mount, pop that hub battery adapter out of the battery case, put that 5590 in there, get it closed up, get the antenna put on the front, get it out of standby, back into its normal frequency. If it's on standby too long, it has a tendency with the SynGuard's radios, even the newest models that they got, they're going to drift. And if they drift too far out of sync in time, they're not going to be able to link up with any other radios. We're not going to be able to monitor the traffic. I do not want a hand mic on there because I don't want it making too much noise. But we want that antenna on there just in case something weird happens where the radio might start to transmit. We don't want it to burn out the radio. That's why we're going to have that antenna on it. Secure it. Now, when you're going through those trucks, after you secure that radio, if you can find a map with some overlays on it showing unit positions, you can find some operations orders, a leader's book, any of that stuff, you're going to get a beer. I've already talked to the commander. He's already secured some. We got some beer for giving out to that team if they do capture a map with overlays, not just a regular map. We got plenty of those we've captured off them. We want those operations overlays. We want to know where their units are that they're supporting. Now, while this is going on, I and Alpha Team are going to take on the security bunker over here. The intel we have on it, there are 2 people in that position. During the daytime, they're awake, they're alert. As soon as the sun goes down, typically around 2300 hours, one of those guards typically goes down to sleep, and then they switch out about halfway into their shift. So one of them's usually sleeping down in a corner in there is what we've observed. The other one is back behind the gun. This position has a 240 in there. Now we have noticed through observation, through night vision, whoever's behind the gun here isn't exactly alert. We've seen light kind of indicating that they're on a cell phone or an iPad or something in there. So their attention is off on something else while one guy is sleeping. Typically, they don't get any traffic at night. That's why they sleep on the job. These guys are seriously lax on their security, and we're going to take advantage of it. So, we'll get up here. Bravo's getting set up. I will check, make sure no one's roving around here. Check to the positions of the roving guard and that stuff. If it looks clear, I will cross with one other person. We're going to take up position here behind the bunker. One's going to go to this corner. I'm going to stay at this corner. And then we're going to signal the rest of the team to come across. Once we're over here, we're going to do a quick look inside. Verify where each person in that position is at. Then we're going to go in fast and furious. We're going to take down the guy behind the gun first. We're going to take down the one that's sleeping in a corner. Just like what they're going to do at the roving guard up here. These guys are going to get bound, they're going to get gagged, they're going to get relieved of their weapons. And then we're going to get them out, get them on the ground, get them secured. It should only take 2 of us in there. One of us, probably me on the outside here, keeping watch here. The other 2 on the team, you're going to keep watch for this rover. When this rover comes back, he gets past the edge of the tent here, take that rover down, that roving guard. Same thing, get them bound, gagged, pull them off to the side, disarm them. Bring the prisoners in. Now, we are not going to have communications with our support by fires here. I don't want any radios with us because primarily they're going to probably short out in the water in that creek. But once they're secured over here, they're ready to go. They're going to get that satchel charge set under the tank of the fueler. We're going to locate our satchel charge inside the bunker here. Once they're set, once we're set, when we're in position here, I see someone's at the back here, I'm going to signal with red lens flashlight. I'm going to give 1 flash, I'm going to wait 2 seconds, give a flash. Response, if you guys are ready, will be 2 quick flashes of your red lens flashlight. As soon as that happens, I will acknowledge with 2 quick over here. Then we're going to do our exfil. We're all going to meet up here at the gate and we're going to get the hell out of here. We're going to travel down this road as fast as possible. before we leave these positions, the ones who set the satchel charges, you're going to be popping those fuse igniters. I want the fuses on those satchel charges set for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to get from here to the tree line. That should be plenty of time if we're moving fast. If we got to drag someone, we're going to drag them. If one of the prisoners causes too many problems when we're taking them back, slit their goddamn throat, leave them on the fucking ground, and keep going. Get back here, link up with the rest of the unit. Get our gear on as quick as possible while they watch the prisoners. Now, as soon as these satchels goes off, the team that's up in here in these rocks, you're going to fire 4 law rockets into the perimeter. Try to aim them at something that's going to get a good impact, like the other fueler over here, the truck, the side of the MRAP, whatever. Hell, if you can lob it over here into the ammo dump, give it a shot. The team that's over here, as soon as these explosions start over here, you open up, rapid fire your 2 magazines, 1 drum for your saw, and you start spraying the backs of these troop tents and the MKT. If there's someone outside smoking, you see the cherry, fill them full of lead. Guard that's coming around back here, if you can, wipe them out. Fire off your rounds and then you guys withdraw. We're all going to rally back over here. Staff Sergeant Brown's going to give us the information on that because he's in charge of our reserve force over here, our backup. So everyone will link up back over here. Once everyone's in position, we'll start the exfil out. Staff Sergeant Brown, it's now up to you. Explain our exfiltration and what you guys are going to be doing over here in the reserve force and how you're going to be supporting us.